have Coach Mike Krzyzewski with us one more time here on Real Training Camp. Congratulations once again on all the success. And your final go-around now, your final quadrennial, which is a word we only pull out here on this show. I know you've got a job to do here, obviously, to prepare
Grant
for
didn't use that word.
No, Grant didn't use that word. It's not a Duke word, by the way. Actually, it's not a word anywhere
South
else.
Lakes.
Outside the context of an Olympics, I don't think it's a word anywhere, in fact. I know you've got a job to do, obviously, to prepare for these games coming up. Have you had any chance to reflect a little bit on the last 11 years as the head coach of this program and what it's meant to you?
Well, I will when this is over. Yeah, I think one of the main lessons I've learned in coaching is not to have a rearview mirror and not to look too far ahead, but to be immersed in the moment that you're in. And because it's the moment that all of these guys are immersed in. Like, if they can't be playing because it's my last time or because it's Carmelo's chance to get a third gold medal there. We got 6 guys who've never played for the United States before. I'd rather be kind of in their moment. And so there will be time for reflection, but it won't be now. Maybe August 22nd.
You've got just 2 players back from the 12 team,
right?
4 more from the World Championship team, World Cup team back in Spain 2 years ago. As you look at the way the roster is assembled, how would you describe the character in terms of what kinds of players you have on the floor?
Well, they're all excited to be here. That's the first thing, and they're all very talented. I think it has a chance to be an outstanding defensive team because we have a lot of guys 6'6" to 6'9", who are really good athletes, can move their feet. They're obviously going to be very unselfish, and I think versatility is a key thing. We have 2 big guys that are big guys that we really haven't had since Beijing with Dwight and Chris Bosh, and so that's different. And then we have excellent scoring capability. And we got to make sure they're not too unselfish. Like yesterday, they were really passing the ball around, trying. They were so excited. And this morning I told them, I said, when you pass, just catch and look at the bucket for a second. Just instead, they were doing all, and they were trying to get everyone. It looked like we were like a chorus line or something, trying some synchronized swimming or something like that. And they're all explosive scorers. But we have great leadership. Carmelo did an amazing job yesterday in being the veteran. This is his 4th Olympics. You talk about commitment. Holy mackerel. And he was very vocal, as was DeMarcus Cousins. And, when you have somebody talking well, it's contagious. And those 2 guys really did a great job of talking.
Coach, when you look at it, first of all, it's great to hear that you have a problem guys passing the basketball. I mean, you can see the culture. Seriously, from me being back playing in 94 to 2000 guys moving the basketball. I wanted your mindset. Usually you and Jerry have somewhat of 10 guys that you knew were going to be on this team. But because of so many guys have dropped out, how do you approach this training camp? Does this mean a little bit more?
We don't look at anyone not being here as dropping out.
Okay.
And just like we never look at anyone not making it as being cut. We have a great concept that we initiated about 10 years ago as pool. In other words, 25 to 35 guys were already on the team. Now, because of 3 very human things that happen to people, injury, contracts.
A year later, I'm bringing in Mike Krzyzewski, and the managing director of USA Basketball is with us here in Las Vegas. Good to have you with us once again.
Thank you.
You're a team builder. That's what you've been doing most of your career, including now with the 76ers again. So you're the guy on the end of these phone calls over the course of the summer from guys saying, I'm in, or in some cases, I'm not in. And, of course, that was a big news item over the summers.
Yes.
Who is not playing this summer?
Yes.
What's going through your head as you start to hear from the likes of LeBron James and Steph Curry, et cetera, about not being there? Does it immediately turn to, okay, well, we've got to slide this guy here, move this guy here, we need more of this, less of this?
Well, all of the above. Something you don't anticipate is what we had transpire this summer, and it was exacerbated by some of the conditions in Rio and the Zika virus.
Right.
And I mean, no one knew anything about that, until a few months back. So anyway, it was you have to adjust. the purpose of having a national team roster of 25 or 30 people on a roster is to take care of any potential issue that comes up, injuries, contract negotiations, personal issues, or just a decision that a player needs to rest because they're beat up during the course of a season. So I tried to switch the dialogue from who's not going to play to who is going to play, because there's a bunch of guys here who can play.
Sure.
Jerry, we talk about these guys, and you have a lot of new faces
Right.
to USA basketball. And obviously what you have done over the last 10, 11 years, along with Coach K, building a culture. How do you accelerate that for these guys in terms of learning and understanding what you guys have built over these last 10, 11 years?
Well, actually, Coach and I have talked about that, and you know, each quad has been something different, just a different thing we have to address and feel, and it's kind of exhilarating just to have to redo the whole thing again in some ways. So it's a combination of players who have had experience, you know, a couple of gold medalists, Olympic gold medalists, 4 World Cup gold medalists, some new faces, but they're all the kinds of people, character-wise, that it's going to be easy to blend. It's a matter of them spending the more time they could play together, practice, bond, all of that. We're going to be fine. We're going to be ready, and I anticipate that this is going to be a terrific team. I really believe that. And it's not about comparisons, about who could have been, what might have been. That's yesterday's news. We're concentrating on the guys who have committed themselves. They're here to represent their country. They're excited about it, and we're excited to have them.
Jerry, to just what Grant said about the culture you built, I would love for you to talk about a guy who I think has given such a commitment, Carmelo Anthony.
Absolutely.
To each quad coming back, and how important it is and how special it is to have a guy like that that can lead some of these new faces.
You know, ironically, he was the first player that I visited with back in 05. And it just happened to fall that way. I was in Washington, D.C. His team he was with Denver at the time, and we had breakfast together, and that was the first player that committed almost on the spot. But it was a situation.
Great. Hold it.
Right there. Good. Right there. That's it. Good. 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 That's it. Punch again. Punch.
Yesterday, they wanted me to go to the cut, the 25 cut. You want me to go around?
Kyrie Irving, who is now a world champion as he joins us, as well as a gold medal winner 2 years ago when you were the MVP of the World Cup in Spain. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, guys.
I don't know if you're aware of this. It was 1 month ago today. You guys won Game 7 at Oracle Arena in Oakland, and you hit the biggest shot of your life.
Yeah.
What have the last 4 weeks been like as a champ?
It's been a great celebration. It's been a great celebration, understanding what we accomplished. It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life, but I didn't want to take that moment for granted. Seeing my dad and my sister after we won, and then having a few weeks just to decompress and just enjoy myself. But now I'm back out here, and this is almost, I would say it's a little step below than winning a championship for me, because this is just an exciting time to be with these guys. Every single day, I was telling Paul George as we watched them, before we came here, I just got done watching your highlights. I was just watching your 2015-2016 highlights, about 8 minutes of just straight highlights. I enjoy seeing great players in a setting like this because they're not in their team atmosphere. They're away from their norm, and they get to come with guys like us and just really open up, and we get a chance to get to know one another.
This will be your first shot at an Olympic gold medal, but you've been through the senior national team experience before. What kinds of things do you learn about teammates that you've only faced before?
Well, one thing I really enjoy about USA basketball is the particular part with the select team. I started there. It was myself, Clay, and a few other guys that now are on the Olympic team 4 years later. And that friendship and that bond of us going to the World Championship and us taking our time and putting in the hours for USA basketball and now being able to chance to go for a gold for Olympics is a dream come true.
Well, Kyrie, I just want to talk about, we were saying it before you came here, if you look at your age and resume from 24 and so much you've accomplished and some adversity when injuries, and then talk about you have a chance to win an Olympic gold medal and also have an NBA championship within months. Just talk about and reflect everything you've gone through, and like you said, this time to be able to be the leader, be the point guard of this team, and that responsibility at a young age and just being 24 years old.
I feel like my dad has prepared me for these moments. I tried to live and enjoy every single moment and never take it for granted, understanding that it's a process to be where you want to be, seeing players that have come before me, reaching out to guys, understanding relationships and connections that will propel me to be the best player I can be. So I'm really thankful for that. I've had a tremendous opportunity to go to a great university that Coach K is the head coach of the Olympic team, that connection there, and just I'm trying to put into words what it really means because I didn't really expect it to happen this quick, a lot of the things that have been happening. So, like I said before, I just want to live in every moment and never take it for granted.
Kyrie, obviously in 2014 you played the World Cup. You guys won a gold medal. How did that experience, you feel, help you prepare? Because we know the international game's a little bit different than our NBA game. But how did that experience prepare you now as you're coming in as a veteran of international basketball?
Well, it's prepared me a great deal. Understanding the process of being together for a certain amount of days. And I don't know if you guys feel the same way about this, but there's nothing more beautiful than seeing a bunch of great stars come together and we flourish in a tournament against other countries. It's nothing more beautiful for me than that. The ball movement, the game film, and when we go to our respective teams, I don't forget that type of stuff. It's just such an awesome experience, and I just love beautiful basketball with great players. This is the cream of the crop right here, USA basketball, and we just have to prove it every single night.
Is there a teammate, particularly maybe a new teammate, you're most looking forward to getting to know as a player and playing alongside?
Kevin Durant. Yeah. I've been a fan of his since I was since he's come into the league, and even when he was in high school. But it feels like I've been watching for a while. I mean, he's accomplished so much. So I'm just a huge fan of his, and watching how maniacal he is about his work, his footwork, his jump shot. I'm telling him every time he shoots the basketball how pretty his jump shot is. It's just I don't get to see it live all the time, so when I do, and I get to see him in this setting, I mean, it's awesome.
I don't feel like I need to tell you continued success, but continued success nonetheless.
Thanks,
congratulations on the World Championship once again, and good luck over the next couple of weeks. Kyrie Irving with us here.
I mean, what's the feel? Obviously, this is the first time for you as well.
Man, it's a great feel. You know, just being around this group of guys, you know, it's funny playing with each other because you can tell everybody's like, you're open and you make that extra pass, and he's open and he make that extra pass, and everybody just want to fit in. And that's something that, you know, it'll take a little minute to get used to. Nobody wants to be the guy to mess up.
Right.
And we'll get over that and we'll just play basketball. But it's a great group of guys to be around, play with. Looking forward, you know, to playing with these guys. The thing I love about this team is like guys really lock in on the defensive end. And I think that's part of the thing that's going to make this team special.
I mean, you've been doing this for a while, and I mean, you're a superstar. You live around that. But do you kind of take a look around during practice and you start naming off all the people who are part of this, and then the history that you could make with them?
Absolutely. You know, because you got everybody who's in here is usually the top 2 or 3 best players on their team.
Right.
When you say top 2 or 3, some of those teams are a little different. So being third best on some of these teams ain't that bad, you know. So it's I mean, it's a special thing when you bring all this talent together, you know, and try to form one team, and it's special, you know. So it's you know, you just sit and look around like, man, this is a lot of talent.
Until we go up and down. Okay, Hop, you got both.
Okay.
One team there, one team here.
20 minutes on the clock, running.
25.
25.
Yeah, we got, yeah.
In the 2012 Olympics, Greg Popovich is running the select team. Of course, the next senior men's national team head coach for the next quadrennial. There's that word again. As they got ahead of the transition period, and he'll have players, and I'm just going to name a few. There are a bunch of select players here, but guys like Justice Winslow and D'Angelo Russell, Julius Randle, Jabari Parker, Julio Okafor, Emmanuel Mudiay, Stanley Johnson, Brandon Ingram, Chris Dunn, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Devin Booker, I think I mentioned. Those guys were all in the gym. Aaron Gordon, so many other good young players. And so not only will they provide some competition for the senior men's national team, but it's an evaluation process for the coaches and Greg Popovich as he's thinking ahead to that next quadrennial, including the World Cup, which...
What has this experience been like for you here the first couple days?
It's been busy. It's been fulfilling. It's been a great learning situation. I mean, we got a lot of players here, as you know, both between the select team and the Olympic team. So, you know, being with all the coaches, with Coach K and his staff, and my staff with the select team, talk great basketball, learn a lot of stuff. Secondly, get to know all these players a little bit more closely. You know, what do they like? What makes them smile? What makes them tick? What do they like with each other? What kind of teammates might they be? You know, all that sort of thing. So it's just fun to be around them and watch them and to learn all that. And then lastly, dinners in Vegas are great.
Yeah, I've heard something about that. But you do look refreshed and relaxed, a little less stressful environment than the normal day job.
Yeah, you know, for right now, there's no winning or losing. Just practicing and trying to do what we can as the select team to get the Olympic team ready. It's a tall order. You know, that gold medal they've been winning here for 10 years is not easily won. It takes a lot of work. And USA Basketball with Jerry and Coach K has done a great job in setting a tone, building a culture, creating a pipeline where it just has been flowing. But it's not just roll out the ball. It takes a hell of a lot of work, and I can see it with my own eyes how complicated this all is.
Beyond just coaching and learning the future of USA Basketball as you've been doing, what else goes into the transition process as Coach K hands over the reins to you after this Olympics?
Well, it's not going to be like cut and dry. At least I hope not. You know, you think about what he's done for the last decade with this, and I would be a real fool to just say, okay, I'm going to go do it my way now, or I'm going to go do this. Sure, we're all different people, but I'm going to drain him. I'm going to squeeze every bit of info out of him that I possibly can. If he tried to just move too far away from it, I'd pull him right back. But I don't think he's going to go real far. He loves this program. He's been such a huge part of it. Hopefully he'll continue and be an integral part of what goes on.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about one of your new players who we'll see on the international scene in Pau Gasol. What are you expecting out of him, and what maybe can you lend intel yet to the USA team?
Yeah, I've never coached him, so
Right.
so Tommy Thibodeau will have to do that. So since he's one of Coach K's assistants, he can give him all the info he needs. I'm telling him about Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili. I'm selling them both out.
Well, you did a great job a couple days ago with Tim Duncan. He'll have his day coming up here in a few days. Do you expect him to get emotional? What do you think we'll see from him?
That's a great question. Timmy doesn't do that very often. He'll feel it. He'll feel it. It'll be very interesting to see how emotional he does get. It's a lonely feeling without him, though, I'll tell you. You know, when you've been with somebody 20 years, first of all, that sounds ridiculous. I can't imagine that really happened. But we know what time does for us. But at this point, I just got to get used to not having him around as part of the culture and his professionalism, his humor. The days that he was totally tired of me and wished that he was playing someplace else for sure. I'll miss all of that. I really will.
Do you think there's any chance you'll ever be able to get him to come back and speak to your teams or use some of that wisdom he had with being with you for so many years?
You know, I think in some way, shape, or form he'll be around. I'm not sure how much he's going to want to do that, but it's an open door. He can do whatever he wants. And anything he says to the team will always be on a personal basis. There's not going to be any room and any podium or any speech, you know, anything like that. He'll just do it his own way by walking around and touching people.
Well, Coach, I must say this worked out quite differently than the last time we spoke, so I want to thank you.
But that was at the end of a quarter, wasn't it?
No, that was the first day of training camp.
Same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Coach Pop, best of luck this week.
You too.
Let's go to dinner sometime.
Okay, we will. Do you drink wine?
You know, whatever you're buying.
Okay, because if you don't drink wine, you're not invited.
I'll be there tonight. See you.